Life is not random. You didn't just show up on this planet because of chance or luck or some accident of biology. Long before you took your first breath, there was already a reason for your existence. You are not a mistake. You are not a mistake. You are not the result of random forces colliding. You are here on purpose, and that changes everything. Think about it. Every detail about you, the way you look, the gifts you carry, even the struggles you've walked through, none of it is wasted. There's intention behind it all. You were shaped with design. And when you begin to see yourself through that lens, it shifts the way you live. Suddenly, life isn't just about existing or surviving. It's about stepping into the calling that has been woven into your very being. The truth is, when you forget that you were made for a purpose, life starts to feel empty. You chase after success, approval, or comfort, hoping it will fill the void. But none of those things can satisfy a heart that was created for something greater. Deep down, you've always known you were meant for more. That more is not found in possessions or achievements. It's found in discovering why you were put here in the first place. You're here because the world needs what only you can give. There are people you are meant to touch, problems you are meant to solve, words you are meant to speak, love you are meant to share. No one else can fulfill your assignment. No one else can live your purpose. That's why it matters that you stop comparing yourself to others. Your value doesn't come from being like them. It comes from fulfilling the unique plan that was designed for you. And let me tell you, nothing brings more joy, more clarity, and more peace than aligning your life with your purpose. You'll still face challenges, of course, but when you know why you're here, even the hard seasons make sense. Pain becomes shaping, not punishment. Delays become preparation, not denial. And setbacks become setups for something greater than you imagine. So if you've ever wondered whether your life matters, hear this today. You are not an accident. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are here because you are needed. You are here because you were made intentionally for a reason bigger than yourself. Step into that truth. Embrace it. Live it. Because when you walk in your purpose, not only do you find fulfillment, you also light the way for others to discover their own. You are not a mistake. Your life was designed with intention. This single truth has the power to transform the way you see yourself and the way you live each day. Too often, people walk through life carrying the heavy burden of believing they don't matter, that their existence is accidental, or that their story has no real significance. But that could not be further from the truth. You were not born out of random chance, and you are not simply the product of biology. Every detail about you has been carefully crafted with a purpose in mind. From the moment you entered this world, you carried within you a design, a blueprint that was unique and intentional. Think about it. When you look at the vastness of the universe, it's clear that order and design are woven into creation. The stars follow their courses. The seasons arrive and pass in rhythm. The oceans stay within their boundaries. If such care and design have been invested into the world around us, how much more intention must have gone into the creation of a human life? Your life is not a random coincidence. It is a deliberate act of design, filled with meaning that goes far deeper than you may realize. And every part of you, from your personality to your passions, has been shaped for a reason. Your strengths and even your weaknesses contribute to the person you are becoming. Nothing about you is wasted. There are gifts you carry that no one else can duplicate, perspectives that only you can bring to the table, and experiences that equip you to make a difference in ways that no one else can. When you begin to see that your life is intentional, you stop living as if you're disposable or unnecessary, and you start stepping into the realization that you were made for a reason. There is something powerful about understanding that you are wanted, that your life has meaning beyond what you can see. Many people grow up feeling unwanted, unseen, or overlooked, and those feelings leave deep scars. But the truth is, your worth is not dependent on how others have treated you or whether they have recognized your value. Your worth comes from the fact that your life was designed with intention. long before anyone else had an opinion about you. Even if the people around you have failed to acknowledge your importance, your life still carries an unshakable significance. This truth also brings freedom from comparison. When you believe that your life is intentional, you no longer have to measure yourself against someone else's path. The moment you start comparing your journey to others, you risk missing the beauty and value of your own design. No two lives are the same because no two purposes are identical. The details of your life, the family you were born into, the challenges you faced, the culture you grew up in, all play a role in shaping your unique path. You are not supposed to copy anyone else because you were never intended to live their story. You were created to live your own. Living with the belief that you are intentional also changes how you face difficulties. Life is not without its struggles, and sometimes those struggles make people feel abandoned or forgotten. But when you remember that your life was designed with purpose, even your pain takes on meaning. The challenges you've endured are not random. They are shaping you, refining you, and equipping you for what lies ahead. Your struggles are not wasted. They are part of the intentional design of your journey. They give you strength, resilience, and compassion that you wouldn't otherwise possess. They prepare you to connect with others who need the encouragement that only someone with your story can offer. There is a sense of dignity that comes when you know your life is intentional. It empowers you to walk with confidence, not arrogance, but the quiet assurance that you matter. You don't have to chase validation from others because you already carry intrinsic worth. You don't have to fear being overlooked because you already know that you were created for a reason. And you don't have to live in the shadow of shame because even your past cannot erase the purpose built into your life. The world often tries to reduce human beings to numbers, statistics, or accidents of chance. But deep down, every person longs to know that their life has value, that their existence makes a difference. And the reality is, your life does have that value. You have been designed with a purpose that transcends circumstances, opinions, and limitations. Every breath you take is evidence that your life still has meaning, that there is still work for you to do, still people for you to impact, still love for you to give. When you embrace the truth that you are not a mistake, you begin to live differently. You see opportunities instead of obstacles because you know your life has meaning. You treat yourself and others with greater respect because you recognize the value of intentional design, and you face the future with hope because you understand that nothing about your existence is accidental. You are here for a reason, created with care, shaped with intention, and gifted with purpose. Your unique gifts, struggles, and story all serve a greater purpose. Every part of your life has been shaping you for something beyond yourself. The things you're naturally good at, the talents you've discovered along the way, and the passions that stir inside you are not random. They were placed within you to help fulfill the reason you are here. Gifts are not given without intention. They are given so you can contribute in a way that no one else can. When you use your abilities to serve, encourage, and create, you step into alignment with why you exist. But it doesn't stop with your strengths. Even the weaknesses you've wrestled with and the struggles you've endured play a role in forming who you are, meant to be. Think about the struggles that have shaped your journey. At the time, they may have felt like obstacles meant to hold you back or experiences designed to break you down. Yet over time, you realize those very struggles gave you resilience, compassion, and perspective. They became the training ground for your character. Pain and hardship have a way of chiseling away what is shallow and temporary, leaving behind something strong and lasting. Struggles remind you that you're human, but they also give you the empathy to connect with others who are hurting. They become a bridge that allows you to reach someone else in their darkest moment, because you can say, I've been there too. Your story carries power even in the parts you wish you could erase. The chapters you hide from, the seasons you wish had gone differently, and the mistakes you regret. are all woven into a narrative that can inspire, heal, and guide others. Nothing in your story is wasted. The victories give hope, the failures give wisdom, and the wounds give depth. People are not drawn to perfection. They are drawn to authenticity. When you're willing to share your story, you invite others to see that their own journey, with all its messiness, can also serve a purpose. It's easy to believe that only your strengths are valuable, but the truth is that every element of your life plays a role in the bigger picture. Your gifts open doors, your struggles build endurance, and your story connects you with others. Together, they create a mosaic that reflects your unique purpose. Remove any piece, and the picture would be incomplete. That is why you cannot dismiss the difficult seasons or underestimate the ordinary ones. Every moment, whether joyful or painful, adds something essential to who you are becoming. The greater purpose of your gifts, struggles, and story is not just about your own growth. It is about how they position you to impact others. The gifts you carry are meant to be shared. The struggles you've endured equip you to guide someone else through theirs. The story you've lived gives you a testimony that can ignite hope in another person's life. You are not here just to exist for yourself. You are here to make a difference that ripples far beyond what you can see. Sometimes it takes time to recognize how it all fits together. A struggle may feel meaningless in the moment. A gift may feel overlooked, or a story may feel unfinished. But over time, you begin to see that every thread has been weaving together a larger design. What once felt like random fragments start to reveal a pattern. That's when you realize that none of it was wasted, not even the seasons of waiting, not even the tears, not even the scars. They were all pointing you toward the greater purpose your life was meant to fulfill. Your unique combination of gifts, struggles, and story ensures that no one else can replace you. Others may have similar talents, face similar hardships, or share similar experiences, but no one else has the same mix, in the same measure, shaped through the same journey. That is why comparison steals your focus. You were never designed to live someone else's purpose. You were designed to live your own, bringing to the world what only you can bring. When you recognize this truth, you begin to live with intention. You stop despising your struggles and start learning from them. You stop hiding your story and start sharing it with courage. You stop bearing your gifts and start using them with confidence. And in doing so, you discover that the greater purpose of your life is not about being perfect, but about being willing to let every part of who you are serve something bigger than yourself. Fulfillment is found not in success or possessions, but in discovering why you're here. Many people spend their entire lives chasing after things they believe will make them happy, only to arrive at the top of the ladder and realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. They pour themselves into careers, achievements, relationships, and material possessions, and while those things may bring temporary satisfaction, the feeling eventually fades. The new car loses its shine, the promotion becomes normal, the applause dies down, and the sense of emptiness returns. That's because success and possessions were never designed to satisfy the deepest longing of the human heart. At our core, what we long for is meaning. We want to know why we are here, and until we uncover that purpose, we will always feel like something is missing. The pursuit of success is not inherently wrong. Working hard, striving for excellence, and building a life of accomplishment are all good things, but they cannot serve as the foundation for fulfillment. Success is fragile because it depends on circumstances. An economic downturn, a change in leadership, or even a single mistake could strip it away. If your sense of worth is tied to achievements, it will rise and fall with circumstances beyond your control. Possessions are even more fleeting. They can be stolen, destroyed, or outdated overnight. And when the newness wears off, you are left searching for the next thing to fill the void. Fulfillment rooted in things that do not last will always leave you restless. Discovering why you are here, however, provides something that cannot be taken away. Purpose gives you a reason to wake up in the morning that goes beyond a paycheck or a title. It gives meaning to both the good and the difficult seasons of life. When you live with purpose, your circumstances may change, but your sense of direction does not. You can endure setbacks without despair because you know they are part of a bigger picture. You can enjoy success without being enslaved by it because your identity is not tied to what you accomplish. You can even walk through loss with hope because you understand your life is connected to something greater than yourself. The search for fulfillment often takes people down paths that lead to disappointment, but that disappointment can actually be a gift. It exposes the truth that fulfillment cannot be bought, earned, or manufactured. It must be discovered in the place where purpose resides. The emptiness you feel when success fails to satisfy is a signal pointing you towards something deeper. It is a reminder that you were made for more than comfort or recognition. You were made to live with intention, to invest your life into something that matters beyond the present moment. Living with purpose doesn't necessarily mean you will live a life free from struggle. In fact, sometimes your purpose is revealed most clearly through challenges. But even in difficulty, you can experience fulfillment because you know there is meaning behind what you are facing. That sense of meaning allows you to persevere with strength instead of despair. It allows you to use your circumstances, whether good or bad, as part of the unfolding story of why you are here. When people discover their purpose, they often describe it as finally coming alive. It's as if the pieces of their life that never seemed to fit suddenly begin to make sense. The gifts they carry, the passions that have always stirred within them, and even the hardships they have endured, all converge into a sense of direction. That alignment brings a fulfillment that no paycheck or possession can compete with. It brings peace to the restless heart and clarity to the searching soul. This doesn't mean you should ignore success or possessions. They can be enjoyed as blessings, but they should never be confused with the source of your fulfillment. When they are placed in their proper place, they become tools that support your purpose instead of substitutes for it. Success becomes an opportunity to influence and serve, not a measure of your worth. Possessions become resources to be used wisely, not idols to be worshiped. In this way, both success and possessions can take on deeper meaning when they are tied to why you are here, instead of standing in place of it. At the end of the day, fulfillment is not about how much you have, but about how much of your life is aligned with your purpose. You can have little in the eyes of the world and still feel rich because you know you are living for something meaningful. You can face difficulties and still carry joy because you understand your struggles are part of a larger plan. You can live an ordinary life by the world's standards and still leave an extraordinary impact because you chose to pursue why you were created instead of settling for surface-level substitutes. The longing you feel for more is not a flaw, it is a sign. It is the inner compass pointing you toward the truth that fulfillment will never come from what you accumulate, but from who you become and what you were made to do. Until you discover that, nothing will ever feel like enough. But once you embrace it, you will realize that you already have what you need to live a life that is full, not because of success, not because of possessions, but because of purpose. Comparison steals joy. Your calling is one of a kind and cannot be duplicated. One of the biggest traps people fall into is measuring their worth by what others are doing, achieving, or becoming. From an early age, society conditions us to compare grades, talents, appearances, and opportunities, and that mindset often carries into adulthood. We scroll through images of other people's lives, careers, or accomplishments and begin to feel like we're not enough. We tell ourselves that if only we had what they had, looked the way they looked, or achieved what they achieved, then we would finally feel satisfied. But comparison is a thief. It robs us of joy, blinds us to our own uniqueness, and distracts us from the very calling we were designed to fulfill. When you constantly compare yourself to others, you stop appreciating the distinct design of your own life. Your gifts no longer feel special because you see someone who seems to have more. Your progress feels insignificant because you measure it against someone else's timeline. The problem with comparison is that it never allows you to win. There will always be someone who appears smarter, wealthier, more talented, or more successful. And even if you rise above them in one area, you'll quickly find another area where you feel behind. It becomes a cycle of striving without peace, chasing without rest, and living without joy. The truth is, your calling was never meant to look like anyone else's. It was handcrafted for you. Your life, your circumstances, your talents, your struggles, and your story all converge to create a purpose that no one else can replicate. Even if someone tries to copy your path, they cannot live it the way you can because they don't carry your unique mix of experiences and perspective. That means there is no need to compare because comparison assumes the possibility of duplication, and duplication is impossible. Your calling is exclusive to you. Comparison also distorts perspective. When you look at someone else's life, you often see only the highlight reel, the polished moments, the successes, the achievements. Rarely do you see the struggles, sacrifices, and disappointments hidden behind the scenes. Comparing yourself to someone else's visible success is like comparing your entire book to a single page of their story. It's not a fair or accurate measure, and it leads to discouragement that was never meant to define you. Joy comes when you stop measuring yourself against others and begin to embrace who you are. When you shift your focus from what you don't have to what you do, from what others are doing to what you are called to do, a sense of peace returns. You begin to see that your path may be slower, quieter, or different, but it is still valuable. You start to recognize that success isn't about being better than someone else. It's about being faithful to your own design. Living free from comparison doesn't mean you ignore others or stop celebrating their success. It means you stop allowing their success to diminish your own. You can cheer for someone else without questioning your worth. You can learn from others without feeling threatened by their accomplishments. And you can walk alongside others without trying to step into their shoes. In fact, the more you embrace your own calling, the easier it becomes to celebrate others, because their victories no longer feel like losses for you. Comparison not only steals joy, it delays progress. When you spend your energy trying to keep up with someone else's race, you lose focus on your own. You take detours that were never meant for you, chasing goals that don't align with your true purpose. Over time, this can lead to exhaustion and frustration because you're working hard but never feeling fulfilled. That's the danger of comparison. It tricks you into believing that someone else's path is the standard, when in reality, the only path that matters is the one uniquely set before you. Breaking free from comparison requires a mindset shift. It means recognizing that your value is not tied to how you measure up to others, but to the fact that you were created with intention. It means celebrating your progress, even if it looks small next to someone else's. It means trusting that the timing of your journey is not a mistake, that the pace you're moving at is preparing you in ways that rushing ahead never could. When you let go of comparison, you reclaim the joy that comes from simply being who you were meant to be. Every time you compare yourself to another person, you overlook the significance of your own story. But when you embrace the truth that your calling is one of a kind, you begin to see the beauty in your own design. You understand that no one else can replace you. No one else can live your purpose, and no one else can bring to the world what you were meant to bring. That realization restores joy because it shifts your focus from competition to contribution, from envy to gratitude, and from striving to peace. Even pain and setbacks are part of preparation for your purpose. It's natural to want life to be smooth, easy, and free of difficulty, but growth rarely happens in comfort. The truth is, the very challenges you wish you could avoid are often the ones shaping you into the person you need to become. Every setback, every disappointment, and every season of pain carries within it the potential to prepare you for something greater than you can see right now. They are not wasted moments. They are shaping moments, chiseling away what holds you back and strengthening what will carry you forward. Think about the times in your life when you've grown the most. It likely wasn't during seasons when everything went your way. Growth often happens in the valleys, not on the mountaintops. Struggles build resilience. Delays teach patience. Loss deepens compassion. Failure creates humility. These are qualities that success alone cannot produce. If everything came easily, you might never develop the depth of character needed to handle the weight of your purpose. Pain stretches you, but in stretching you, it also equips you. When you face setbacks, it's tempting to believe they mean you are off course or forgotten. But often the opposite is true. A setback is not always a sign of failure. Sometimes it is a sign of preparation. It slows you down, redirects your focus, or teaches you lessons that you will need later. And what feels like a detour can actually be the most direct route to growth. Looking back, many people realize that the very obstacles they once resented became the foundations of their strength. Without those seasons, they would not have the capacity to handle the responsibilities that eventually came their way. Pain also gives your story authenticity. People connect more deeply with scars than with perfection. When you share how you've walked through difficulty and come out stronger, it inspires others to believe they can endure too. Your setbacks become a source of encouragement to those who are struggling. Your pain becomes a testimony that resilience is possible. Without those experiences, your words might lack the weight of credibility, but because you've lived it, your story carries power. Setbacks also remind you that you're not in control of everything. They strip away the illusion that life is always predictable or within your grasp, and in doing so, they teach you reliance. Reliance keeps you grounded, reminding you that purpose is not achieved by willpower alone, but often through surrender, patience, and trust. The pauses in your journey are not wasted time. They are often the very moments when unseen growth is happening within you. Just as a seed must remain hidden underground before it can break through the surface, your life sometimes requires hidden seasons of preparation before visible progress is revealed. The truth is, preparation doesn't always feel like progress. It can feel frustrating, lonely, and even meaningless in the moment. Preparation is always working beneath the surface. The lessons you are learning in pain are lessons you will one day need to fulfill your calling. The endurance you are building in setbacks will give you the strength to keep going when the journey gets harder. The humility you develop through failure will protect you from pride when success finally arrives. What feels like delay is often protection and preparation. When you begin to see pain and setbacks as part of preparation, your perspective shifts. Instead of resenting the process, you start to value it. Instead of rushing to escape difficulty, you look for what it is teaching you. Instead of giving up in discouragement, you lean in with patience. You begin to realize that every season, even the hard ones, is serving a purpose in your life. So when setbacks come, don't let them convince you that your story is over. When pain enters, don't assume it disqualifies you from your purpose. They may be the very things preparing you to live it out more fully. The dream in your heart might be big, but so is the preparation required to carry it. Your setbacks are not the end of the story. They are the shaping of the story. Your pain is not a detour. It is part of the journey, not just part of the journey. And one day, when you look back, you'll see that every step, every tear, every disappointment, and every delay was pointing you toward the very purpose you were created to fulfill. Embrace the process, because even pain and setbacks are preparing you for the life you were meant to live.